If you are a loyal listener to the Power Presence Position podcast, first of all, thank you. And second, I want to offer that it may be time for you to hop into one of my programs so that you and I can work together to fast track your results in business. Go to coachwitheleanor.com, complete a short application, and we will schedule a brief call with my team to help uncover some key ways that you can accelerate your cash, influence, and autonomy today. Go to coachwitheleanor.com. Now on to the show. Is it possible to market effectively without resorting to social media? We're going to explore that in this podcast episode, but spoiler alert, it is totally possible to generate hundreds of thousands in revenue for your service offerings and your group coaching programs without social media. We're going to break it down here. Let's go.
So here's the question. In a world where the rules of business have been written by men, how do women entrepreneurs like us, women who want to make millions of dollars and impact millions of lives, how do we create enormous success on our terms? That's the question, and this show explores the answers. Welcome to Power Presence Position. I'm your host, Eleanor Beaton, and I'm on a mission to double the number of women entrepreneurs who generate over $1 million per year in annual revenue. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, and leadership coach. I'm a wife, mom of 2 boys, and I'm the CEO of a 7-figure business. Stick around because on this show, you'll learn how to think, communicate, and get paid like a 7-figure CEO. Let's go.
Hello, Eleanor here. Welcome back to the show. You know, I'm recording this a couple days after a full day leadership retreat that we ran for clients who are in our incubator coaching mastermind. And so this is an exclusive coaching mastermind program that we run for women founders who are on a mission to sustainably scale their companies past $1 million in annual revenues. And it is an advanced coaching program. We work with incredible founders. And one of the key things that we always want to do is really showcase the women who are in the program to really leverage their expertise, their stories, their lived experiences to help other women who are in the program learn from one another. So in our most recent retreat, which was called Mission to Market, and essentially how to take the power of your mission to the marketplace where you can translate what is inside you and your business, i.e. your mission, into money, into influence, into autonomy. So one of the sessions that we had in that retreat was called How Does She Do It? And so basically what we did is that we got 5 of our clients and one of our team members actually, and we invited them to present. And what the key was, they were going to present a very specific, proven lead generation tactic that they had used to sell $100,000 plus in a 48-month period of their, what we call an SFSO, a 6-figure scalable offer. So in some cases, this was a packaged service offering. And in some cases, this was like a learning program. And so the key was they had to have actually used this tactic to sell a leveraged program and to sell at least $100,000 worth of this very specific program using this strategy, right? So it was vetted. We wanted to make sure that if they were presenting legitimate strategies that they had used to generate leads for group programs or packaged services, okay? So that was the challenge, and boy, did they deliver. And what was so interesting about their sessions, this was literally riveting for the other women in the program. Number one, just to learn and see the brilliant strategies and different creative marketing strategies that our clients are using in all different industries, all different continents, all different types of founders, the various strategies that they're using. And what was so interesting is that around 70% of them had nothing at all to do with social media. Okay. So reminder, do the math. These women had driven millions in sales for their programs. They were each sharing a specific strategy that they had used to drive a minimum of $100,000 in sales for their group programs or scaled up service offerings. And 70% of them didn't rely on social media at all. So this was incredibly impressive to me. And it really spoke to a theme that I sometimes see, which is that occasionally, actually, I don't know why I said occasionally. It's not even occasionally. Often, I will talk to people who want to shift their business model so that they're going from a one-to-one model to the ability to sell to many people at once. And of course, this is the classic way in which you scale up a service company or a knowledge-based company, like whether it's coaching or consulting or professional services, is that you figure out, how do I package up what I do so that I can offer it to multiple people at once? And so they're shifting the business model, which is awesome. And for some reason, I will often see these brilliant founders make the leap of logic that because they're offering leveraged programs, they now must become an excellent digital marketer. Like the only way to sell those programs is to use digital marketing and social media or some combination of the two. And to the extent where I'll sometimes be debriefing like success milestones with these brilliant women. So for instance, in our program, like once you have sold your first 25,000 of your leveraged offer, your first 50,000, your first 100,000 of that particular leveraged offer, like we celebrate all of those milestones on the way. The hilarious thing is that sometimes I'll actually have people say, well, this doesn't count because I didn't sell like 50 to 50 different people my $2,000 offer. I actually did a 6-figure deal with a company. And I'm like, which of those $100,000 in a leveraged offer didn't count again? Like, remind me. And listen, I can totally understand, right? Like, sometimes we as women founders will have this vision and we get really attached to how it's supposed to go down. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell $100,000 worth of this new revenue stream I just created. And it doesn't count unless I sell it through a digital funnel, right? It doesn't count unless I sold it through social media marketing. So this episode is really about debunking that a little bit and really setting some of you at ease. Some of you who maybe have fantastic networks, you are great at sales and you've always been great at relational marketing and you're just struggling to get your digital marketing to work, or you will see people who are advertising on Instagram and LinkedIn and it looks like they're doing amazingly and they have these complicated funnels, and you think the way to building $1 million business selling scaled up services or one-to-many offers has to be through digital marketing. And I am here to tell you it is not. And in fact, I have many clients who are quietly raking in hundreds of thousands through their SFSOs, we call them 6-figure scalable offers, not using social media at all. So I really want to reassure you that it is totally possible. If you are a talented digital marketer, if you are selling thousands of dollars a month in your programs digitally, I want to really open up the possibility that you can go non-digital marketing. You can completely use a couple of other channels, which I will share with you on this episode, to dramatically increase your program sales through non-social media, non-digital marketing ways. So it is totally possible. There is nothing wrong with you if you, quote unquote, struggle to sell through digital funnels or through social media. There are millions of entrepreneurs around the world making hundreds of millions of dollars who are not hawking their stuff on social media. And if you are selling and marketing on social media, there's no judgment about that either. Like, that's great. What you learn in this episode will help you. So let me kind of preface this with a story. So I was recently talking to a client, and she is literally selling hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in one-on-one coaching contracts. So very, very successful coach in the leadership space. And as you might expect, that's going great. She's making amazing money. She works like maybe 30 hours a week. And she's really thinking about her legacy. And she's also thinking about like her legacy in terms of not only how can I impact more people, but also like, okay, I've been, yes, I work 30 hours a week, but that's an intense 30 hours. How can I continue to grow my revenue without growing like the number of people that I'm working with, kind of thing? The number of hours that I'm working. And so we took some time and really supported her to create a best-in-class group program around her leadership offer. And that took a little bit of time. There was some testing. She really didn't want to just throw something out there. She really wanted to make sure that it was quality and a powerful reflection of her brand and the caliber of work that she has just been kind of steadily growing over time. So she has really been, transitioning this into group programs. And she figured she was one of these women founders, like I mentioned earlier, who made that automatic leap that for some reason is so easy to do in today's world of digital everything. So she made this leap of logic that the fact that she was now doing group programs meant that they had to be marketed through digital marketing and social media, or they quote unquote didn't count. And that's what she wanted to do. And, there's lots of examples of leadership and group programs that are marketed on social media. She was seeing that. And without kind of exploring it, her brain just made this leap that this was how she had to market her program and that this was going to be the best way to market her program. Keep in mind, this is someone who doesn't even really like digital marketing or social media. So she tried it. And I'm all about that. Like, I think it's great. Try it out, try to build the funnels, all good, right? Lots of people are doing it, try it. And they weren't that successful. But more than that, it's not that they weren't successful, because P.S., they almost never are initially. Like, you show me somebody who has a really successful digital funnel, and I will show you somebody who has spent hours upon hours testing, pivoting, changing everything from the audiences to the messages to the buttons to the everything, right? So it wasn't just that it wasn't successful, it's that she didn't like it. And she's a smart entrepreneur. She's already pulling in hundreds of thousands a year. And she's like, why do I want to do this again? So again, little leap of logic. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't even bother trying to sell this group program because I'm making hundreds of thousands selling one-on-one. So that's where we started our conversation. Okay. That's where we kind of started this conversation. And I understand it. Like, it's not easy. And by this point, she kind of doubted herself. She was sort of doubting her offer a little bit, all because she was trying to market it on social media. She was trying to do digital marketing, and it wasn't working for her. So what we did is we took a step back and, of course, really took a look at the kind of leaps of logic that her mind was making that didn't necessarily make sense. Like, so you want to sell a group program. Why do you have to now market online? Why do you think it doesn't count if the sales don't come in through digital marketing? Why do you think it doesn't count if existing customers buy your group program? Why do you not think that counts? And that's another like super sneaky thing, by the way, that I see all the time when our clients, these are successful attorneys, successful accountants, successful therapists, architects, designers, leadership coaches, HR consultants. For whatever reason, when they start to put together these group programs or leveraged offers, they will discount the fact that their previous one-on-one clients bought. They're like, that doesn't count. It's not a cold client coming in to buy. And that's where I'm like, okay, which of those $5,000 that they spent on your group program don't count again? Like, which of those dollars are your bank going to send back to you because they're no good, right? Like, money is money. Sales are sales. Customers and clients are customers and clients. And quite honestly, loyal customers and clients, repeat customers and clients are incredibly valuable. That money should be worth 3 times as much to you. So anyway, we walked through all of those things, and we had a really good laugh at all of the ways in which her brain was discounting things that were easy, and the ways that her brain was discounting the easy for the digital fancy, right? So once we worked through that, had a ton of laughs, we sat down and we did a couple of things and we really talked through, how do you sell best? And, what did that look like? And so we kind of figured that out and then sketched out a very simple funnel. And this is what we do, by the way, in our programming. Like, I sit down with our clients, we debrief what they've done, what worked, what didn't. And then based on that real evidence, then we go down and we sit down and we sketch out an approach that takes what they learned, combines it with what already makes them genius, and put that out into the world. So we walked through a very, very simple funnel. Sketched it out. This was not a digital funnel. I mean, you would use some email to specific people if you want to call that a digital funnel, but there are no ads. There's no paid traffic. We're not sending people to a lead page. Okay. Very, very simple funnel. And this very simple funnel is one of the tools that we actually include for our clients in the coaching mastermind. And as we sketched it out, and we just walked through how simple it can be when you get off the digital marketing and social media train, she saw immediately how much money she was leaving on the table because she was getting distracted by digital marketing and social media. And once she saw that, she was like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. I can't even believe that I have been wasting time trying to become a digital marketer when I have everything that I need to sell this program. And so basically, she implemented it and she went on to close 2 deals for her coaching programs. And by close, I mean verbal close with confirmation coming. So I should clarify there. But one of those deals is worth $180,000, and another one of those deals is worth $105,000. So in total, when I followed up with her, I was like, how much of your time? Because again, people will say, well, it's not scalable if it's not digital marketing. I'm like, really? Okay, let's think about this. How much of your time did you invest to close that $285,000 in coaching program sales without social media marketing? And she kind of tallied it up between her and 1 or 2 members of her team and figured about 8 hours of time. Okay. Now, knowing that any human can get max 4 hours of deeply focused work done in a day, we're talking about 2 days. Okay. So really, really super high ROI. And so I'm telling you this story because maybe you can relate to her experience. You've tried marketing on social media. You've tried creating digital funnels. And no matter how easy people say it is, it just isn't working for you. And we have certainly talked about digital marketing and social media marketing here. We had, of course, the podcast documentary called The $1 Million Social Media Marketing Plan. And you can use all of that stuff, or you don't have to use it at all. Because as I've just laid out, this woman entrepreneur that I'm talking about, she's not the only one. We have many people in our programs who are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars in program sales and offering sales without using social media marketing. They are doing other forms of creative sales and marketing that play to their strengths, that are anchored in the assets they already have as a company. They do not have to transform themselves into digital marketers to scale up their companies. I just want to be really, really clear about that. It's hard to, underestimate the degree to which, our reliance on social media marketing has warped how our understanding of how and why people buy and what the opportunities are out there. Well, I'm here to say you do not need to market on social media. You certainly can. It certainly can help you. It can be a fantastic channel. We all know the benefits, but you do not have to. And let me be clear about that. So I'm going to share 3 things that you can do instead after this break. As a high-impact woman CEO, I know that you want to scale up your sales, grow your audience, and build a high-performing, engaged team. And in order to do that, as a leader, you need to leverage 2 key communication tools. First, you have to leverage the power of story. And second, you need to understand and command the science of attention. The good news is that I teach you how to do both in a simple, actionable, yet comprehensive free course I offer called Selling with Story. This includes 93 minutes of marketing and business training on video, plus the celebrated Selling with Story blueprint. You can get your hands on this free course, which I want every woman CEO to have. Go to eleanorbeaton.com/story. That's eleanorbeaton.com/story. Okay, before I get into my 3 tips about how to market without social media, I want to tell you another story. So back in the day when I was a women's leadership coach, my mission at that time was really, it's always been about advancing global gender equity. But at that time, I wasn't niched down yet. So I was working with both women in corporate and also with women entrepreneurs. So I'd created a program called the Leadership Lab. And just like so many of you, I was like doing all of the social media posting, like doing all of that, really trying to build awareness about this program that I loved and I believed in. But thank goodness, I also trusted my creativity. So I decided that I was going to do an event, and it was going to be a women's leadership event. I was going to pull together a bunch of great speakers. We would all kind of share it with our communities. And I also was like, what organization might want to sponsor this event? And so I struck a sponsorship deal with a bank. And here's the thing. I did not go after the big money. I was brand new. They didn't really know me from a hole in the wall. And so for me, it was all about really establishing credibility, starting this relationship. So I think I charged them like $2,000 or something to sponsor this really, really amazing event. So I created this event. I really worked my network. I got a sponsor. And lo and behold, that sponsor, bless them, they shared it with their employee base and their outreach. And so it went to thousands of women across the continent. And this in turn drove huge signups for my email list and then drove huge signups for my programming. It was really powerful. And guess what? There was no social media involved. So it is totally possible if you allow it to be. And so there's 3 ways that you can really start to dial up sales for your offers without social media, without digital marketing. And so tip number 1 is to start thinking about how can you sell your programs in bulk? And very often the way to do this is to think through who would want to buy multiple units of my offers at a time. And often that's going to be corporate, small business, NGO, government, like really thinking through who serves my customers who may want to buy this program in bulk. So that's kind of the first thing. And again, people overlook this all the time. And I'm like, you could market really hard to get a customer one at a time. Or you can do what many of the women in our programs do, which is really leverage their relationships and connections. And they are selling their programs 5 units at a time, 10 units at a time, 20 units at a time into buyers who are buying these in bulk. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can do is to create a strong referral program. Do you have a strong network of people, partners, allies, vendors, customers, associations who can refer your program? And especially a referral program would work very, very well for previous customers or clients. Again, no social media required. And the third way is to cross-promote with what I would call ecosystem partners. So if you think about your ideal buyer for whatever it is that you offer, whether it's a service, whether it's a program, whether it's a group coaching, program, whether it's an online course, when you think about all of those people, see, a buyer is always anchored in an ecosystem. So I'm going to give you an example. So I think about myself. If you were targeting me, who are the people who influence me? My bank influences me. Some great authors influence me. I'm a member of entrepreneur organization. That my group there influences me. I am a member of a couple of different coaching groups where other coaches hang out. That influences me. I have a personal stylist. She influences me. I have a personal trainer. He influences me. I have a spiritual advisor. She influences me. You see what I'm saying, right? We all have a network. I use a lot of different software as a service tools. They influence me. So nobody exists in and of themselves. We also are influenced by an ecosystem. And so a great way to market without social media is to connect and have as a referral promoter or a cross promoter people who are influencers of your target market. These are just 3 simple things. Sell your programs in bulk, create a strong referral program for your past clients to refer you to other clients, and cross-promote with ecosystem partners, right? Now, we help our clients, PS, do all of these things because I could give you some quick tips, but the reality is it's going to be so much more beneficial for us to sit down and really map out what it looks like for you, which is exactly what we do in our programming. But I will share from a broad perspective the sort of key rule when it comes to these 3 different sort of tactics that I've shared with you, they're all underwritten. The thing that makes them all work is what I call the 3 C's: credibility, clear market position, and a constrained offer. Credibility, your credibility in the marketplace. Clear market position. Are you very, very clear on what's in your lane and what's not in your lane, about who you serve, what you stand for, and the outcome that you create, or are you all over the place? And then finally, constrained offer. Do you offer solutions, again, that are inside your wheelhouse, or are you trying to offer soup to nuts? The broader you are, the less credibility you have, the weaker your overall market position. That makes you hard to partner with. See, partnerships work best when founders have strong boundaries. This is what I offer. This is what I don't offer. This is who I work with. This is who I don't work with. This is my mission. This is outside my mission. And the clearer you are, the easier it is for you to partner with other people. Because sometimes the most complicated partnerships are around people who offer exactly what you offer. And it's not just that it's like competitive, it's more that it begins to confuse the marketplace, right? People get confused. Now you've confused them, and we know that the confused mind doesn't buy. So the key, the 3 C's to help you leverage partnerships to grow. And if you're not going to market on social media, if you're not going to do digital marketing, you're going to form a web of partners who can refer you to their audiences. It all comes down to that, whether it's selling programs in bulk because you have bulk buyers, creating referral programs because your customers all have people who are like them who could also buy from you, or ecosystem partners who could cross-promote you. And all of those things require the 3 C's: credibility, clear market position, and constrained offer. When you have this clarity, when you have this power, this presence, this market position, the more constrained and clear you are, the more it frees you and opens you up to so many different types of partners. And conversely, when you aren't clear, it's so much harder to partner. People don't quite know what you're going to do. If they're not quite sure what you're going to do, it's a little unpredictable. It's hard to bring you into their fold. And so without those partners, you're left with no choice but an ineffective social media approach or ineffective digital marketing, right? So a couple of resources. If you are really picking up what I'm laying down in this episode, I wanted to make sure that you knew about a couple of resources. So one, of course, is my paid program, Power, Presence, Position, Business Accelerator. Positioning is an advanced strategy. So if you're already selling and you're really looking at scaling, then you need to get your market position right. You want to build that credibility, get your clear market position, get your constrained offer. So we can work with you, fast track your success through my coaching in the Power Presence Position program. So I can encourage you then to go to powerpresenceposition.com, read it through, and apply. We never bring anyone into that program who's not a great fit. So I really encourage you to check it out and apply, and then we'll work with you to determine if it is a good fit for you. So that's one resource. And then a second resource that you can also and should also do is to come to a free training that I'm leading called Scale Without Sacrifice. And this is really where I'm going to walk you through some core tactics that you can do to, if you are marketing on social media, make sure that you're doing it in a way that's effective and that works for you and that feels aligned so you don't feel like a 24-hour commercial. And B, really show you how you can grow without it, right? This is advanced marketing for really thoughtful, intelligent women entrepreneurs like you. You're not out there to twerk and point on social. You'll do it, but you're actually looking for more substantive marketing practices to really help you grow and scale your company. Well, we're going to be covering that on Scale Without Sacrifice. So if you want to register for that webinar, and honestly, I'm just going to say it, I have had so many founders tell me that our programming, whether free or paid, this podcast, our webinars, and also our paid programs are literally best in class. And that's a huge shout out to me and the team. But, we don't do anything unless it's world class, and that includes our training. So I really encourage you to get signed up, and you can get the details at eleanorbeaton.com/scale. So 2 things coming at you. If you want to really fast track, work with me directly, get this handled and start closing deals and landing partnerships with influential, high credibility partners who can really help expand and explode your business, go to powerpresenceposition.com. Like if you want to speed it up and just get right to it, that's where you need to go. And I would also suggest that you can check out this free training. Go to eleanorbeaton.com/scale for my upcoming Scale Without Sacrifice webinar. Okay, Queen, thanks so much for being here. This podcast would not exist without you. You know that, right? Like, I appreciate you. You are the reason I show up here week after week. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful week. We'll see you at the webinar. Maybe see you inside one of our paid programs. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Power Presence Position podcast. I truly couldn't make the show if it weren't for you, my dear, loyal, beloved listener. I so appreciate the emails, the shout outs, the shares, the reviews, all of which inspire me and motivate me to keep coming back to the mic week after week to provide high quality content that elevates your business and advances your leadership. I have one little request. If you have benefited from this show in any way, I would so appreciate if you would go onto iTunes and review the show. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us an honest review of your thoughts on the show. I so appreciate it. It really helps us get this programming in front of other brilliant women founders just like you.